Hi guys, so the topic of today's video is magnetization, and I found a better way of doing it, so that's why I want to share with you guys. So some of you may be asking, why would you even bother magnetizing your models? Won't it just add time to the preparation? And the truth is, yes it does, but it's really the most effective way that I've found to properly transport your models to the venue, gaming store or tournament, whatever it may be, especially for rank and file games where you have movement trays. Some other games like skirmish games like 40K or Sigmar, some other ones, you move models individually, so that's why you see them, they use these kind of cases. So they have those cases where you just pack them individually, and then when you get there to the gaming store, you just take them out of the box, and that's it. But it's really not suitable at all for 9th Age unless you're traveling by plane. That's a different story. But what I found was the most convenient is just a simple box like this, and then your models, what you're going to do, you're going to magnetize them so they're on the tray, okay? And then the tray travels like this. There you go. Trays like that. And you're going to transport this box. So we're going to put that away because we don't need it. Take this box. Okay. This is a cheap box. Got it at the Home Depot for about 10 bucks. And you can see they don't move around in there. I'll explain to you guys how I did it, the magnetization system. But this is kind of what you want to be aiming for, because as soon as you get to the table, you open this, good to go, and let's deploy. There's no unpacking of models, setting them up on the tray, waiting for 15 minutes. No, all that it's over. For a cost of a little bit more time in preparation of your miniatures. So there's a couple different ways that you can go about magnetizing your models. The way I used to do it was with neodyme magnets. You see these rare earth magnets? Now you're going to put a magnet underneath each model, and then you're going to use a metal movement tray. Some people do it the other way, where the movement tray is the magnet and the metal's on the mini, but this is the way I do it. And this whole time I've been using these rare earth magnets, but it turns out it's a very expensive way, because these magnets, they're not that cheap. This was about 20 bucks, 21 bucks. And it's also a pain because you have to use green stuff and then super glue it to each base and then push them down so that they're flush against the surface. And it takes longer, and plus these models, especially when you rip them off the movement tray, it can actually stick to the tray, and then it takes more work to repair. So this method is cheaper and faster. It's with these ones right here. Adhesive magnets, okay? Business card size, the most cost-effective one. This box here was about $8. You get 25 of them. That's what they look like. Yeah. You can do about 8 20 by 20 millimeter bases with this, okay? Or 2 40 by 40s. And you just cut them to size, measure them out, you're good to go. If you have a bigger model, you can use this one right here. It's 6 by 4 inches. And yeah, just cut them out to size, good to go. And so yeah, this style is my new favorite way of magnetizing. And so the concept is that once you have magnets on your minis, then you're going to be able to easily stick them on this metal movement tray. See, it's not going to go anywhere. Especially this banner, this BSB. He's very top heavy, and if he didn't have a magnet, he would just tip over constantly. So he's never going to leave his unit, so he's just always going to be on a metal movement tray. Now the trays is what is a bit more expensive. I got them from Shogun Miniatures, and there's a website. You just order it, send him an email, tell him what you want, what size, he'll cut it for you and send it to you. And they're very nice trays, never had any problem. You can paint primer over it with your airbrush or a rattle can. And those are great. And then once you have your movement tray, it's metal, so you need a way for the movement tray to not stick around in your box when you're transporting. So what I use is magnets, again, because magnets are awesome. And these are gloss white magnet sheets. Got them from Staples. And that's what they look like. Big magnet sheet. They don't stick. So what you're going to do is just super glue it to your box like this. There you go. Pretty cheap. Put them like that. Alright, so you can see it's not going to go anywhere. Like if your car turns sharply, it could, but it's not really going anywhere, guys. Like, now another aspect I want to touch on is be careful when you measure out the magnet, because the bases of your models, or at least the ones I have, most of them, are not the nominal size. So the 20s by 20s will actually be 19, and the 40s will be between 38 and 39 millimeters usually. So you want to measure the actual size of your base, because they have tolerances on them when they are manufactured. Now I apply the magnet at the very, very last step of the painting process, because the way I paint is that I stick the fig on an old paint pot like this, so I can easily zenithal highlight it with the airbrush, and then I can comfortably paint it like this. And for that I use a little drop of super glue on the pot. You can see that. Yeah, I use a bit of super glue, and then I snap it off when I'm done painting it. And then right at the end, after I've painted the rim of the base, then I can glue the magnet, the bottom. And with this method, you see, it's really nice because you can paint the rim of the base without even touching your model. You just go like this and paint the rim of your base black, or whatever color you prefer. And so that's what I recommend. Now when you put the magnet at the bottom of your base, there's going to be some spillage of super glue that's going to get onto the edge of your base. And that's why you might have to touch it up with some black over top to hide the super glue. Like you see this one? See his rim there? There's a little bit of super glue marks, so I'm going to have to touch that up. Alright, so it's just part of the process. There's no perfect way of doing it, because if I did it at the first step, I wouldn't be able to glue them like this. Now in a perfect world, you would have paint holders like this that are magnetic as well, and then you'd be able to do it at the first step and then paint it continuously. But I don't have that, so I put the magnet on right at the end. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video on magnetization, and that you do the same for your armies, because it's very, very convenient. You just show up like this, your stuff's ready to go. As your models, you take casualties, you know, put them back in your tray right away, and then at the tournament you're ready to go to the next table because everything's already in your tray. Alright, if you have any questions on the process, the system of magnetization, leave one in the comments below, and I'd be interested in hearing how you guys do this. Do you even magnetize at all, or do you just throw all your models in a shoebox? Alright, see you in the next video.